Hey everybody, this is an autumn wind playoff game between the New Orleans Voodoo and the St. Louis Rams. Let me go look at the regular season, see if these two teams played. There are 6 teams in each conference that make the autumn wind playoffs. These guys are in the, I believe it's called, well, it's the American Conference, but there's different names for it. So I think we're ready to start here. Gary sent the message. Exchanging pleasantries. The email is off, so they are ready to kick off. So again, real quick, New Orleans finished. Oh, that's not the final league file. Let me go grab that too. Okay, good. We're getting spectators into the minute. That gives me time to restore the league file. Okay, so Houston, what is that? Houston, this is St. Louis. St. Louis finished 10-6. Let's see, did they play New Orleans? I do not see them having met in the regular season. So here we go. We got a fumble on the opening kickoff, a fumble chance, but the white die was higher than 4, so no fumble chance. Let me adjust my contrast here to conserve battery life. I'm on battery, so the animation is going to be a little slow, but the battery's full, so we should be able to capture the game no problem. So New Orleans will start their own 15, pitch out left to Nick Chubb. 3-4 defense for the Rams, and they're double teaming the tight end and looks like the split end. Defensive end +1 or +5, and that goes for a 1-yard gain as Dean Lowry is a 5 and he makes the tackle. Crossing pattern to Albert Wilson, who's the flanker. No extra pressure coming, and he's single covered. Cam Newton is the quarterback for the Voodoo, and that's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 9. So, like I said, the Rams went 10-6. The Voodoo were 11-5. Crossing pattern again to Albert Wilson. 4-man in the zone this time. Single covered again and incomplete. So that'll be Butch having to punt on his first drive. And I will turn off animation for some of these plays. It seems to crash on punts. Well, I didn't get it in time, so hopefully we won't crash. It's a 48-yard punt to the number 2 returner. Picks it up at the 37 and gains 4. Actually from the 36 and gains 4. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 40. Screen left to Mark Ingram. That's going to be a 13-yard gain. Guessed wrong, as he had called run and flooded the flats. Zach Zenner in the backfield behind Ben Roethlisberger. So pretty nice offense there for Gary. Gary Nagata coaches the St. Louis Rams. Off tackle right to Zach Zenner. Guessed right. It's going to be the dreaded 5. So no gain. Would have been no gain, even guessed wrong. And the Voodoo are coached, of course, by Butch Schrammick. 2nd and 10 into New Orleans territory on the Rams' first drive of the game. Mark Ingram's in the backfield now. Patrick DeMarco, who's a 7 pass blocker, is the blocking back. We'll check every offensive line here in a second. 4-3, 0-2, 4-4, 0-4, and 5-4. Curl to Paul Richardson, guessed right, 3-man in zone. Looks like there might be a sack chance here based on the delay. That usually means one of the coaches is using that little box you can add in, which shows you the sack chances. And it's no sack, 13-yard gain, guessed right on Roethlisberger's card. And as you can see, it's not your vintage Ben Roethlisberger card. It is got a lot more gaps. Guessed right anyway. And that was a 1X. So it looks like there was not a sack chance, just a delay in hitting the snap button. First and 10 at 34. Gary mixes his running backs well. He goes off tackle to Malcolm Brown here. Offensive onside guard +5 or +0. And Garrett, when we looked at that offensive line, those guards are zero run blockers, 2 4-run blockers at center and left tackle, and the right tackle is a 5-4. Zach Zenner is in there again. So he's got Zach Zenner, Mark Ingram, and Malcolm Brown that he'll mix around. Richardson and Allison are the wide receivers. Tyler Eifert's the tight end. Quick out left to Eifert. Guessed right. Oh, guessed wrong. Excuse me. He called run. So that's a 10-yard gain and another first down for the Rams. So Butch was thinking second and long, second and 10. He's going to call a run. So I'm going to call a run to make sure he doesn't get one of those short gains on Zenner's card. But instead, it was a flat pass. Pitch out right to Mark Ingram. That's going to pick up 5. Guessed wrong. So Gary has Butch guessing wrong so far. As I was saying about Big Ben's card, short and long, it's still a very, very good card flat. Maxed out, I believe, or nearly maxed out. Yeah, not quite maxed out, but that's where his bread and butter will be, flat passing and running. Button hook to Malcolm Brown, and the white die 6 is going into effect after the short yardage defense that the New Orleans Saints put out there on 1st and 10, and the pass is capped at 18 yards. So Malcolm Brown can catch a pass 18 yards, and that's the max he can go. So it stops at the 1. And Big Ben's 4 for 4 for 54 yards, exactly what Gary would have wanted on his first drive. First and goal at the 1. Look for him to pound it in with either a sneak to Big Ben or Mark Ingram up the middle. And there's the sneak, as he's keying on Ingram. Either way, it's a touchdown, no matter who he would have given the ball to. +4, and there goes the Rams up 6-0. Extra point is up good. And let's see if I can get the animation off. That's the wrong screen. So there we go. We didn't get locked up, so we're good. So it looks like it was a touchback. And we got the Voodoo coming out in a 2 tight end set with Jesse James as the second tight end. This is Autumn Wind, which is a 30-team strat league. Fly to Robbie Anderson. Guess wrong. This could be big. He's flooded the flats. Nobody's back there. Anderson covered by a 5. And it's a long gain, 69 yards, and that's going to take it inside the 10-yard line. Hopefully my animation will catch up. It's tough on these long passes or punts or kickoffs. He could go all the way. That should take it down to the 6-yard line. My math is correct. And it is first and goal at the 6. Slant to Jesse James against a run call, 4-minute zone. Caught up just in time to catch the next play, and it's a 10-yard hit. And just like that, I was going to say, Butch is going to come out of here with a little bit more urgency on this drive. And sure enough, he goes big, hits a big pass, follows it up with a short pass for a touchdown to the tight end, and it's tied just like that, 7-7. Let me share this broadcast. So maybe some of the guys will want to jump in here. Got another touchback and slant to Tyler Eifert, and here comes the pass rush of the Voodoo as they sack Big Ben. Zadarius Smith comes in. Actually, that's who was credited with the sack, but it was Chandler Jones' 11 pass rush against the left tackle Chad Wheeler, who was reduced to a 3 based on formation. Inside run to Ingram. That's going to be a 1-yard gain on 2nd and 19. They'll bring up 3rd and 18. right. 3rd and 18, deep to Cordero Patterson, and there was 2-minute zone, and here comes that man, Chandler Jones again. He's a bad man, and he just whipped up on Chad Wheeler. 14-yard loss, which is the most you can lose on a sack. Has to be a long pass because it gets adjusted. And 4th and 32, a 45-yard punt. It's going to take it out to the 48. Let's see what the punt return can do. This is also where it might get stuck. And there it is. We're stuck. So let me jump out. I'll tell you close the animation quickly. Open it up again. 53711. So let's see how big the punt return was. It looks like no punt return, so that's fine. The first down play we missed was for no gain. So 2nd and 10 now at the Rams 48. Off tackle left to Chubb. Nobody's in the zone. Offensive onside tackle. That's going to be at 5 yards. He has a 6 offensive tackle over there, Eric Fisher. And it'll be 3rd and 5. And we go 3 wide for the offense, 3-3-5 for the defense. Crossing pattern to D.D. Westbrook. Remember, no dump off in this league. So he's got to hit it on the card. And it's a 3-yard loss. That'll be credited as a sack, even though it's a negative must run. And that's Steve McClendon, the nose tackle, picks that up. It's credited with that. He kind of ran right into him. Newton was getting ready to scramble and just turned around and boom, there was McClendon. So 4th and 8, here comes the coffin corner punt, and that's going to go inside the 10, and it'll go out of bounds at the 6, or at the 5, excuse me. 1st and 10, button hook to Ingram being double covered. Still is going to, Big Ben threads it in there for a 5-yard gain. Good call, says Gary. 7-7 tie game in this wild card playoff game between the St. Louis Rams and the New Orleans Voodoo. Autumn does this right when they seed the playoff seeds. It's done strictly based on record, not based on who won the divisions, which allows teams that may have been in a tough division to still host a playoff game or maybe even get a bye. Off tackle right to Malcolm Brown. That's going to lose a yard. Another good call there by Butch. It would have been a 7-yard gain and a first down if he had guessed wrong. So we got the Rams, who won their division, having to go on the road here and face the Voodoo, who had a 1 game better record. That's a 7-yard gain guessed right to Cordero Patterson on a flat pass. So that'll pick up a first down, and it's 1st and 10 to 16, 2:42 to go in the first quarter. Bomb to Geronimo Allison being double covered. So Butch feeling that he was going to get a little more aggressive, just like Butch did, but he was correctly double teaming. It would have been incomplete, even guessed right or wrong, but it's nice to see that. So Big Ben, despite that sparse number of hits on his short and long card, he still has a long gain on 8. Off tackle right to Mark Ingram, stuffed for a 1-yard gain thanks to the defensive tackle. Antoine Woods, who's a 4, made the play against the White Tie 4. So that normally would have been a 7-yard gain. Not normally, but 66% of the time, 67% of the time. 3rd and 9 now, 2/3 of the time, 66.6. Curl to Paul Richardson again with the correct double team. Butch on fire on defense. That would have been a long gain if it wasn't double team. My goodness, what a call there. That's a call and a half. Stopped Gary from not only getting the first down, but getting probably deep in his territory, if not hitting a big touchdown. 4th and 9. It's a 41-yard punt. I forgot to turn off the animation, so hopefully we don't get locked up here. Nope, we're good. Fumble -4 though, and it looks like the Rams or the Voodoo are going to sorry, the Rams are going to recover the ball, and that means they would have kind of gotten the ball probably in the same spot as that long gain. So all that good double teaming, sometimes you just get frustrated. It's a guessed wrong short pass, 3-minute zone, plus 13 on Big Ben's card. So he's sparse, guessed right, but guessed wrong. He's still got a pretty nice card. Zach Zenner in the game, down 1st and 10 at the Voodoo 25. Gary got the first big break of the game on the fumble punt. Fly to Richardson, single cover by 4. Defender X or long gain incomplete. It's the white dies a 4. Now you say, Dennis, how do you know that? You're watching the animation. Well, Defender X or long gain, the long gain would have shown up in the other column. So right away you know that Robert Alford made the play. 2nd and 10, 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Rams in field goal range. Zach Zenner in the game. Great runner. Guessed wrong, but there's a man in the zone. Still going to pick up 6, bring up 34. No worries about containment. Take a quick look at the Rams field goal kicker. And he is 2 through 10 at this range, 2 through 9 from 23 to 32. Of course, the variable field goal range is in play, and also the chance of another sack. Chandler Jones has got a good matchup. He's been taking advantage of that. Derek Wolf's not going to do much against McGlinchey just because he's a low pass rusher. And Zadarius Smith is his outside linebacker who can do some things. It's the sideline left to Geronimo Allison's going to hit the short gain. Wow, what a roll. Sure seems like those short gains on flat passes. And when the guy tries to run on 3rd down, it hits the brackets. Seems to come up more on 3rd down, but that's just, confirmation bias. Slant to Tyler Eifert, guessed right, 4-minute zone. It's going to be a sack, and guess who? Well, this time it was Kyler Fackrell. I was going to say it had to be that man Chandler Jones, but no. Kyler Fackrell coming from the outside linebacker over here. So he's got 4.0, 12.5, 5.62, and 0.49. Short pass to Patrick DeMarco is going to be incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal to 12. Butch is not showing blitz. He goes 3 wide with Cordero Patterson, who's carded as a halfback, returner, and a wide receiver. So he's able to go back there in a 1 halfback, 3 wide set. Down and out to Patterson. Incomplete. Hits the blank on Big Ben's card. And he did not go flat there. He went a short pass. He needed a 10 or a 12, and the field goal tries 2 through 11. Man, if he would have gotten the negative variable adjustment, it would have been bad. 2 through 10 was good from 13 to 22, but it stayed within the 2 to 12 range. So 1st and 10 at the Voodoo 25 as they take over. They were able to stem the damage after that fumbled punt. Quick out left to Jesse James being double covered. But this time Cam Newton threads the needle. We saw Big Ben complete a flat pass double team. This is like where a lot of coaches will take the time to say, good call, good call. I'm not much of a good call guy. I just, when I'm playing the game, I'm not sure if that's not necessarily rude. I will do it every once in a while because, we're all going to have these correct double teams a couple times a game. Quick out left to James again. This time this gets wrong. It's going to be a 1st down. So, forgive me if I don't tell you good call every time you correctly double team. On special ones, like maybe on that one again, I would definitely have said something because that's like above and beyond. So 10-0 Rams in front, 12 minutes to go in the half. Voodoo with the ball after the Rams took a lead, square into Albert Wilson. He's double covered, but it's by a linebacker, so it doesn't really affect the play. It's a white die 6 for a 20-yard gain, and that takes the ball into Ram territory. But as I was saying earlier, the Rams took a lead with an early touchdown. The Voodoo right away followed up with a tying touchdown. Now the Rams take their 2nd lead of the game on a field goal drive after a fumble punt, and the Voodoo are looking to strike right back. They're going deep to Robbie Anderson. Incomplete. Guessed right. would have been plus 29 guessed wrong. So Cam, he's probably, this was not an MVP season for him, and this is the 2018 card set. So the 2018 season wasn't an MVP season for Newton, but he's carded like an MVP. He's carded better than his MVP season, I should say. It's not a great card, but I'm saying it's better than his MVP season for sure. And there's a must run for 14 yards on 2nd and 10 as Cam moves the chains. He's actually a viable strat starter, which even when he got the MVP, it was like kind of a shaky card. Quick out left to Jesse James, being double covered, man. But I think the guy who was assigned to coverage was blitzing, so it's only on a guess right on the quarterback's card. 2nd and 6, so picks up 4. It would have, even if it was correctly double teamed, it would have been a 4-yard pickup. So Newton 6 of 10 so far for 113 and a touchdown. 2nd and 6. Off tackle right to Chubb. It's being double covered as a receiver. But as a runner, the card result was on the defense, offensive onside in +5 or +0. And Evan Ingram, as good of a receiver he is, he hasn't quite picked up the nuances of blocking in the NFL. And that goes nowhere. Off tackle draw to Chubb. 3 wide facing a 3-3-5. And guessed wrong, but it hit a 0. So 4th and 6, and now it'll be Aldrich Rosas on to try this. The kick is up. The kick is good. 2 through 10 from this range. And just like we saw with the first scoring drive by the Rams, the Saints get the ball, drive it, and match that field goal. 8:24 to go in the half. Touchback, and Big Ben and crew will start at their own 25. Pitch out right to Mark Ingram. That's going to be at least a 5-yard gain. Defensive end is a 5, so 2/3 chance to stop it, and he does. Derek Wolfe. Malcolm Brown checks in on 2nd and 5. So that's the pattern you'll see Gary use. Brown is subject to that low usage carry rule. So on white die rolls of 2 or 3, he'll be limited to a 5-yard gain. And guess what? He gets 5 yards exactly, even though it was guessed right. But when the white die is, so if that game would have been a longer game, there is no longer game. It's possible, I guess right, but I'll show you later the game as we come across it. Zach Sanders in there on 1st and 10 at 35. So quick out left to Eifert, nobody's there, but it's guessed right because he had enough guys in the line of scrimmage, and that's incomplete. $6:54 to go in the half. Now Ingram comes in on 2nd and 10, so you won't see him use Malcolm Brown on 2nd and more than 5 because 2/3 of the time he'll be stopped. Quick out, square out right to Paul Richardson. It's a short gain on Big Ben's card. So without the dump off, that seems to be a lot of coaches' favorite method of moving the ball is bombs and flat passes. You won't see as many short passes and running the ball, of course. So there's Zach Tenner in there, guessed wrong run, and that's going to pick up 4. Mark Ingram in the backfield. 2nd and 6. If it was 2nd and 5, you might have seen Malcolm Brown. Off tackle right to Ingram, and it picks up only 5. 3rd and 5 at the 46. He goes 3 wide with Cordero Patterson. Quick out right to Eifert. Incomplete, hits a blank on Big Ben's card. And this is kind of in no man's land, but I think you'll see Gary punt, probably without hesitation. Tie game in the playoffs, you want to give your opponent a short field. And he tries to go Coughlin corner, but it stays in bounds. Down to the 11 of the 10. And I'm going to get hung up here. Yep. Yay. All right, so we missed the 5-yard play. Could have been a flat pass, could have been a run, could have been a must run. 2nd and 5. Ideally for the Voodoo, they'd use all the time up, drive down the field, score, and then get the ball back first in the second half. Score out left to Robbie Anderson. He's being correctly double teamed. Jordan Poyer doing the job, and it's a complete for 5 yards. So that could have been easily what the play was on first down. We missed 5 yards flat pass. 1st and 10 out to 38. Quick slant to Evan Ingram, and they're keying Chubb, and that's going to be almost the biggest play you can get. Like a long gain could have gotten you a little bit more, but that's exactly what Butch wanted. A 30-yard gain is going to take it down to the 32 of the Voodoo. 1st and 10, 2 tight end set. Sideline right to Albert Wilson, single covered. 4 linebacker in the zone. And it's going to hit a blank on the receiver card. That makes Cam 8 of 13 so far. Both quarterbacks are actually playing pretty good. Second and 10. I'll take a left to Nick Chubb. There is somebody there, but it's going to be, no, there was not somebody there. It's going to be on the quarterback's card, guessed wrong. And Chubb's a little chunky. That 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rolls is not going to get much for you. He should be better next year. But this year, he can kind of stall some drives by not hitting as many short gains as he'd like. His run so far, 6 runs for 12 yards today, 2.0 average. Not very good. 3rd and 9. The last thing that Butch wants is to get sacked out of field goal range. So let's see what happens. It's a button hook to Chubb. Guessed right, 1 man there. Gary was playing a 3-2-6 defense. And linebacker in zone, X or short gain, that's going to be incomplete. So if he had thrown it one of the 4s, that would have been a short gain. So here comes Roses. And he did not get affected by the variable. Stayed in that 2 through 10 range. Kicks it up, and it's through, and it's 13-10 Voodoo. So they couldn't use all the time left. That's good for Gary. He needs to get down here and try to get in the field goal range at least before the half ends. And we're going to miss it again because of the slow animation, or maybe just Strand's bugginess. Not as bad as it was last year, where every punt, every kickoff that went into the end zone would crash. As a spectator, which I guess is more important. So 1st and 10, we didn't miss anything, and it goes incomplete as Big Ben was trying to look for Geronimo Allison. Ingram in the game. I look for him to try to hit an end run, get out of bounds. Pitch out left to Ingram. There it is. Blocking back, +3 or -3, and there was no blocking back in that set. So that's going to lose 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 13. Now Gary's going to be on the watch to or under pressure to really pick up this 1st down. Otherwise, he's going to be punting it back to New Orleans after they took the 13-10 lead. And yeah, we've already seen how good Aldrick Robinson is. Or Aldrick Robinson. Rosas, what's his first name? Albert Rosas? Jesus Christ. Aldrick Rosas. Isn't it Aldrick? Why did I say Robinson? Here's the punt. Rigoberto Sanchez punts it. And that will crash. Nope, we're good. It's a 0-yard return. Trent Taylor takes it. Aldrick Rosas, right? Yep, Aldrick Rosas. Off tackle right to Chubb. There's one man in the zone. So the quarter of the halfback card for no gain. So that's Butch trying to hit one of those big numbers before the half. You know, it's plus 21, 2, 3, 11, 12. Get you 20 plus yards. So 2nd and 10, and he goes 3, 3, 5. Look for Butch to try to run it again to Chubb. He's got a plus 40 on end run, plus 20 on 9 on a line book. He's got his timeouts. Pitch out left to Chubb. He still goes for the end run option. Defensive end -2 or +3, and that's it's going to pick up 3. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. Does he get out of bounds? He does. Which is maybe not necessarily a good thing. The 3rd and 7s are tough to pick up. Now you're going to give it back to Gary with a little bit of time left. Assuming you don't pick this up. Off tackle right to Chubb. There's no containment. It's a linebacker move. We'll see if that comes into play, and it does. 29-yard pickup. So he was 3 wide, so he only got the guessed wrong results on a 2 or a 3. It was a wide die 2, so no worries there. And it hit a big number, and there was no linebacker there. Gary's linebacker is a 5'5" Blake Martinez. So if he would have left him home, that would have been contained after a 6-yard gain or something like that. Quick slant to Ingram. Guessed right, 1 man in zone. He's a 0 though, looking at the pass. And it hits the white die 6 and goes for 30 yards from the 40 to the 10. So Butch is not just thinking about a field goal here. He's looking to get a touchdown. He uses his penultimate timeout. 22 seconds left. You can take a couple shots and then use that last timeout to kick the field goal. Looking for a flat pass. Nope, it's an off tackle right. Remember, he only got those big numbers on the edge. And it hits one of the big numbers, but it's a white die 1, which changes it from guessed wrong to guessed right. So that by being in that formation, he took away his touchdown chance. So he uses the last time out. He's got to be careful here because you need a down to spike it, and you need the correct amount of time. 15 seconds is fine. You can spike it with 1 and have 1 second left. But he should not go for it again, no matter what happens on this play if he doesn't make it. So look for him to take a shot. Cam Newton's got a good in-run shot, too. Sideline left to D.D. Westbrook. He's being double covered, and that's incomplete. Oh, this is where you get into trouble. If he goes for it here, he could get sacked or be tackled before the goal line, and he wouldn't be able to get the playoff. So he wisely brings out Rosas for a field goal chance, 2 through 11 from here. And it's up and good. And the Voodoo take advantage of some big runs towards the end of the half by Nick Chubb to take a 16-10 lead. And he goes for the old squib kick. With 1 second left, you should just onside kick it because it could have hit that long game and been a touchdown. So 3 field goals so far for Mr. Rosas. Good half for each team. Gary's got to feel good that he stopped that drive and didn't give up a touchdown, so he's still only down 1 score. Coaches exchange halftime pleasantries. And Gary's ready to go. So looks like we're going to get right underway here. Here goes good luck. It's a kick 9 yards deep, and I'm sure Gary will just take a knee. So Gary gets the ball first. I don't know why I was under the impression that Butch was going to get the ball first. So forget what I know. I told him he's going to take a knee. He decides to bring it out. And maybe he was trying to hit that touchdown. Of course he was. Because every other result is going to be lower than starting at the 25-yard line except for the touchdown. And maybe the plus 30, was it plus 39 on 2? Something like that. So anyway, 2nd and 9 after a 1-yard guessed wrong run by Ingram. Zach Zenner in the game. Second and long is Zenner. Second and short, it's Malcolm Brown. Quick out left to Eifert. There's a man there. Hits a blank on Big Ben's card, bringing up 3rd and 9. Patterson in the game as a halfback. And a 1 halfback, 3 wide set. Tyler Effort's a tight end. A crossing pattern to Allison. Being double covered. Incomplete. Both these coaches are doing a great job double teaming. That would have been incomplete no matter what. But still, that's pretty cool. These guys are on it. They played each other a long time, so they are used to their tendencies. So Big Ben was starting off pretty decent. Now he's under 50% completion percentage. 9 for 20 for 110. Here's the punt, 51 yards, and it's going to be a fair caught. D.D. Westbrook has a touchdown on 3. Oof, that was close to another big play for the Voodoo. So first and 10, second half, fly to Robbie Anderson being correctly double covered. And that's going to be incomplete. Even without the double team, it's incomplete. Second and 10, Voodoo at their own 28. Slant to Ingram, covered by a 5. And incomplete again. So as good as Cam Newton's card here is, he's right at 50% completion percentage, as both teams are looking to go big and not be content with just throwing safe flat passes. Slant to Ingram, single cover. And it's incomplete again. And then that'll be a Voodoo punt. So the teams have traded punts here to start the 3rd quarter. $47-yard punt. Fair caught. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 25. Rams still only trailing by a single score. Touchdown here puts them back on top, pending the extra point. Slant to Eifert, guessed wrong, but pressure's coming, and down goes Big Ben. Doesn't have the power or the moves to elude people as well anymore. And Kyle Fackrell beats Joe Looney, 13 against the 4, 88% chance of a sack, and the white die was 14, 2nd and 19. Maybe a run here? Nope. It's a fly to Paul Richardson. Guessed right, 1 man in zone. That's incomplete. That'll bring him 3rd and 19. Tough to dig out of these holes, especially with no dump off. Deep to Patterson. Incomplete because it landed on the D card with 2 men in zone. Big Ben's got the long gain on 8, so it would have been incomplete even if it had gone on his card. And another punt. So 3rd punt of the second half. And we're only 4 minutes in. See if we can survive another punt. And it's a 3-yard return. We do survive it, no crash. Maybe the key is not to be touching your keyboard or mouse while that's going on. 16-10, Voodoo on top with the ball at their own 38. I'll tackle left to Chubb. Nose tackle, +0 or +3, and that goes nowhere. Steve McClendon makes a play. Slant to Jesse James, guessed wrong, 3 men in zone. Covered by a 4. And it's a receiver reading incomplete. The Voodoo are average. The Rams are good. 9 to 20 for Newton, under 50% completion percentage. You need your receivers to help you out when you get them guessed wrong like that. Crossing pattern to D.D. Westbrook. Single cover by a 0. Defender X or short gain, and look at that. Gary was double teaming Wilson and Anderson, who were already covered by 5s, and that would have been incomplete on either of them, even without the double team. But he left the 0 uncovered, and Newton found his man, got the matchup he wanted to. Fly to Robbie Anderson, being double covered by the free safety. Defender X or plus 27, incomplete. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10. The ball is inside Ram territory. Voodoo would hope to at least get a field goal here to make it a 2-score game. Screen right to Chubb. Guessed right. 1 man in zone. Going to pick up 7. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the Rams 38. Stays in the 1 halfback set. Sideline right to Wilson. 1 man there, guessed wrong. He needs 3 yards. He gets 5. Thank goodness it was guessed wrong. That would have been incomplete, guessed right. 1st and 10 at the 33. Midway through the 3rd. New Orleans trying to work their voodoo. Get into scoring range. Quick slant to Ingram, guessed right, 5 man there in coverage. And it'll be a 5-yard gain. Fives are wild there. 5 as the linebacker in the zone, 5 as the defender, and 5 as the number of yards gained. And of course, even with double team, we know that's a 5 as well. 2nd and 5, ball to 28. Button hook to Chubb, being correctly double covered. Gary looking for a turnover, but instead it's incomplete. Which it prevented a short gain, actually, because that was a white dice 6. So if you're not double covered, then it would have been a short gain. So nice job there by Gary. 3rd and 5, off tackle right to Ingram. He double covers correctly again. And that's going to be incomplete. That would have been a short gain without the double team. So Gary stepping up with 2 huge calls. Rosas is going to come out and try to still make this a 2-score game, but better than giving up no, Butch with a good call. See, that was 2 good calls in a row. That warranted a little extra pat on the back. The field goal is good. That stretches the lead out to 19-10. 6:18 to go in the quarter. And I better get out. We're in the crashing mode. So Gary needs to answer. It would be nice to answer here. He's already out to the 39. He must have returned it with Cordero Patterson. He would have got out to 33. I'll take a right to Brown. Remember, offensive onside tackle plus 8 or plus 3. Now, I said he's limited by that low carry roll, which limits him to 5 yards max, but that's on his own card. On a D card, he takes whatever the D card reading is up to his maximum longest run. So now we're at the 47 near midfield. Rams desperately need a scoring drive. Zach Zenner in the game, 1st and 10. Inside run to Zenner, guessed right. Left tackle, +0, +3, and he breaks through there. Antoine Woods, who made a play earlier in the game as a 4 run defender, can't make the play there, and he picks up 13 yards into voodoo territory. 1st and 10. Ingram back in the game. It's 4 runs for Zenner. It's got a lot of runs left. Gary doesn't want to leave too many on the board, but he wants to have enough for the 4th quarter. Richardson being double covered, and he fumbles the ball. I think it's a snap fumble. And the Rams get it back and they advance it. It was a snap fumble. He only has a 1 out of 1,000, 1.7 out of 1,000 chance of a fumble. The 1 to 100 roll was a 1. Excuse me, 1 to 1,000 roll was a 1. So it's a 1 in 1,000 chance, and he hit it. But thankfully, he was able to turn it into a 6-yard gain. So 2nd and 4th to 34. Ingram in the game, and he's going to take it off tackle for 10 yards. So lucky break for Gary that he was able to recover it. Lucky break for Butch that there was even a fumble on that play. So 1st and 10 at the 24. Malcolm Brown in there, who I told you wouldn't be in there in long situations, but Gary looking to conserve some carries, get Brown involved. He knows that Butch is much less likely to call a run with Brown in the game. But he does call a run. It's a curl to Richardson. Defender extra short gain incomplete as the 4 makes the play. Robert Alford, 2nd time today he made the play. 2nd and 10 at the 24. Gary at least wants to get that field goal. He won't go for it on 4th down here, I don't think, when it gets to that point. But right now he's still thinking touchdown. 2nd and 10, Malcolm Brown in there. So I don't know. I'd stick with Zenner or Ingram. Pitch out left to Brown. Offensive onside tackle +5 or +0, and Chad Wheeler, who's a 4. Well, I said a 5. He's a 4. He got the block. I was looking at the defensive tackle there for a second. So 3rd and 5. Patterson in there. It's at the 19, so no bombs. Maybe a flat pass, maybe a short pass. But with Roethlisberger's card, you got to think a short flat pass is more in order. Instead, he runs it off tackle right with Patterson, defensive end, -1 or +5. He's going to lose a yard and bring up 4th and 6. And Gary calls on Harrison Butker to make it a 6-point game. And it's up and good. And that'll be New Orleans 19, St. Louis 13, with just about a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Touchback. Voodoo take it over at their own 25. Chubb in the backfield. Still hasn't hit one of those big numbers. He did have that +29 in the first half, which is pretty big. But he's got a 63, a long gain, a 92, a long gain, 40, and a long gain. I'll take a left to Chubb. And he's got nobody in the zone, and it goes on the halfback card for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. Chubb stays in there. Pitch out left to Chubb. Guessed wrong, nobody's there, but it's a defensive end 5. He's going to pick up 4, guessed wrong, and it'll be 3rd and 3. And that was the last play of the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter time, people. Quick out left to Jesse James and being correctly double covered. Gary all over the defense. -2 or +1, and that's going to be incomplete. Time for a punt. Britton Colquitt comes out, thumps it for 46 yards. See if we get caught here. We might. We might be okay. It hasn't turned into a circle yet on my. Oh, it hasn't. Come on, come on. Okay, I'm gonna close it down. Oh, that's too many plays. All right, let's see how many plays I missed. Just one. First and 10 was an incomplete pass or no gain run. So Gary, trailing by 6, faces a second and 10 at his own 22. Ingram in the game. Off tackle right to Ingram. There's a man there, but he hits a short gain. Finally, Ingram hits one of those short gains he has on 9-10. That's 10 runs for 38 yards for Ingram. That's probably his biggest run of the day. Yep, it is. Ingram and Zenner have both hit 13-yard short gains. And on the other side, we saw the 29-yard run by Chubb. 1913, slant to Eifert. Single cover by a 4, guessed right. His receiver reading has a blank on 9, which is what the result was reading from. So it'll be second and 10. Roethlisberger, who was 9 of 18 or 9 of 17 at one point, has missed his last 7 or 8 passes. Second and 10. Zenner in the game now. Inside run to Zenner, and Butch correctly calls a run. But it hits a short gain on Zach's guard. But his stuff's capped at 5 yards because of the low usage halfback containment rule. See, here I thought Zenner was over 60 or 64 carries. Remember, if it's a 2 or 3, it'll get stuck. And that would have been a first down and 18-yard gain instead of 3rd and 5. Quick out left, and Eifert's going to pick up 7, though. So Gary overcomes that little bit of bad news. Slant to Tyler Eifert. Defender X or short gain, and again a 4 is making a play for Butch. That time it's who was the defender there? Jeff Heath makes the play, and that was an 80% chance of a sack. Chandler Jones against Wheeler, but it was a random 82. So Gary actually got lucky there. Pitch out left to Malcolm Brown, onside offensive tackle plus 5 or plus 0, and he's a 4. White tie was a 6, so even if he ran it to the other side, that's going to be no gain. So 3rd and 10 now. And that was Malcolm Brown covering the ball, running the ball. Crossing pattern to Garcon, single cover. 12 on 12. As he picks up the first down, big 3rd down conversion there by Big Ben, hitting Pierre Garcon. Would have been complete even if it was double teamed. First and 10. Zach Zenner, 4-yard pickup. Let me look at Zenner's card if I can. Oh, I missed it. Bomb to Allison against short yardage defense. Gary's looking for a payoff here, and he just misses. As Michael Reeves says, he dances between the raindrops there. Incomplete. No worries. Third and 6. Screen right to Patterson. And again, it falls between the raindrops as he finds a blank on Patterson's card. 4th and 6, 37. He's eschewing the long field goal try. Crossing pattern to Allison, single covered. Looking for Big Ben to come through again, and he can't do it. Hits an incomplete, and the voodoo will take over on downs with 9 minutes to go in the game. Off tackle right to Chubb. Guessed wrong, nobody's there. And the dreaded 5. So as long as Gary comes up with some 2 good calls here, minimal damage done by going for it on 4th down. Give up maybe 20, 30 yards of territory if you were able to pin it in the 5 with a coffin corner punt. And of course, you have the chance of picking it up too. So we're definitely worth the risk at this time. This is a single elimination tournament here. These playoffs. Crossing pattern to Albert Wilson. Nice call by Gary. He needs a good roll here, and it is. Defender extra short gain, incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10. Now that would have been a short gain if it was it would have been incomplete because Talib's a 5 and that white die was a 5. So here we go, 3rd and 10. Still a good call. And he's one more of those. He goes 3-2-6, showing not showing blitz, but he can go with 2 true double teams here. Newton's going to be Newton. Watch out for Newton to hand the ball off for an end run. It's also a possibility. Down and out to Chubb, single covered by 5 or by 4. 4-man in zone, and it's incomplete. So both these coaches have struggled on 3rd down. And it'll be a punt. Boomer, 59-yard punt by Britton Colquitt. Screen right to Ingram, being double covered here. Gary takes over with 7:30 left on the 20. Big Ben's got Malcolm Brown in the backfield. Slant to Eifert been being double covered. Both these coaches are making excellent double teams, really stifling the other's offense. That brings up 3rd and 8. Fly to Paul Richardson, single covered, but here comes that man, Chandler Jones. 10 against Chad Wheeler's 3. And down goes Big Ben. So he'll be forced to punt here, try to play good defense and get one more shot. 48-yard punt, 2-yard return. Gary will take over with 6 minutes left. Butch will take over with 6 minutes left. Leading by 6. Trying to find that elusive field goal to put the game away. Off tackle left to Chubb. Pitch out left to Nick Chubb. Offensive onside in +9 or +4. could not make the block. Jesse James a 5. He usually would get that 9-yard pickup, but instead it only goes 4, and that'll bring up 3rd and 4. Quick slant to Ingram. 2 men in the zone, but it's a run call, so guess wrong. My card, your card situation, and it goes on Butch's card. Plus 11, first down, nearing field goal range. One more first down, and that really will put the pressure on Gary. Off tackle left to Chubb. Guessed wrong, but there's a linebacker there. Plus 3 or minus 2. He can't make the play. Billy Martinez. So it seems like Gary is just missing it by 1 on the roll, or Butch gets the block that he needs, or Gary misses the defender X that he needs. Off tackle left to Chubb. Guessed wrong. 1 man in each side of the zone, and it's going to be a 0. So there, Gary gets a break. 3rd and 7. He really needs to keep him at a field goal range here. It's 33-37. I think Roses is 2 through 5. So he needs one more play, and Butch might want to run it here. Just get in good field goal range over to this left side of the line with 2 6s. Got 2 big boys over there. And he's got a 6 and a 5 on the other side. He can run either way. He does run. Pitch out left to Chubb. Guess wrong. Looking to get at least 3 yards. It's a 5 defensive interval. Oh, and he loses a yard. So here I was talking about all the breaks that Butch is getting. Gary got a huge break there. Only a 5 or 6 would have been undesirable rolls for Butch. So will he punt here, or will he go for it? So he's going to line up for a long field goal. Oh my, did not expect this. This is going to give Gary great field position if he misses it. Oh, well, I guess I'm wrong about the field goal chances, unless he got a -4 on the variable. He had to have gotten a -4. That's crazy. What a roll. What a roll. What a decision. He got -5 on the variable. I wasn't wrong. Well, let's just take a look at the Voodoo's field goal chances. So he was 2 through 6 out to the 40. Okay, so I was wrong. 2 through 6 or 12 out to the 40. That's a different story. But he still got the -5. The field goal die was a 7. So he would have missed it without the -4 or -5. So you guys, you math wizards, can figure out the odds. But now there's 2 minutes left. The Rams trail by 9. And I don't have to have a calculator to tell you that their chances of winning this game are pretty low. Fly to Paul Richardson, 2 men in the zone, guessed right. He needs an 8 on Big Ben's card. Instead it's a 10 on the D card. We got a 10-yard pickup there. Excuse me, as I was answering an email. You got a 10-yard pickup there on a guest right short pass to Tyler Eifert with 4 men in zone. 1st and 10 out to the 37. Bomb to Allison, 2 men in zone. Interception plus 30. And now it'll be time for Gary to start using some of those timeouts. Try to get the ball back. The chances now are minuscule. They were unlikely before, and now you'll see. Oh, wait a minute! Offense takes a timeout. Didn't like its formation. Doesn't really matter though. Butch is not going to need that timeout. he's just going to run into the line or take a knee 3 times. It'll be 130, 122, 115. And I'll have to punt. So the Rams get the ball back with 108 left. And they'll need 10 points. Barring a turnover here now. Newton has that 1 out of 1,000 chance of a snap fumble too. So it hasn't been a great game offensively for the Voodoo, but they've done enough when they needed to. Both teams, Voodoo only have 12 first downs, but they have nearly 300 yards because they hit that big play. What was it, a 60-something yarder to Robbie Anderson? Yeah, 69-yarder to Anderson. They got a 30-yard looking past the abandoned zone to Evan Ingram. 20-yarder on a white die 6 to Albert Wilson. No single play for the Rams has been over 18 yards. They had a run by Malcolm Brown for 18, or a flat pass reception, but they haven't gotten any big runs or any other big catches. And it's hard to win like that. So here's 3rd and 4, 122 left. Rams have one more timeout. Off tackle left of Murray, guessed right, but he's got those blockers that can help him out here. Defensive end +2 or +9, and look at that. The 5-rated Dean Lowry can't make the play, and that's the way the season will end for the Rams. One roll short. They could have stuffed the zone, but that would have still been, that would have left it 4th and 1. I'm sure he would have punted. But anyway, knee time for Cam Newton, and the Voodoo move on. The Rams will head home, and we await. That was the first playoff game of the season for the 2018 card set in Autumn Wind. Final score: New Orleans 22, St. Louis Rams 13. Okay, guys, that'll do it from here. I will share out the broadcast, and take care. Thanks for watching.